Every conversation you have right now is ultra precious, and as a sales rep, you got to learn how to capitalize on them. On today's episode, we're going to I'm going to share with you an idea that I shared with one of our coaching clients and how it literally helped them to get 5 new referrals. Check it out. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist Podcast. I'm your host, Donald C. Kelly, the Sales Evangelist, and I'm so excited for another great episode. I am so excited to be here with you today. On this episode, I'm going to talk to you about a LinkedIn strategy, but this can be applied to any cold outreach or any outreach game that you have. But this is to help you to expand and to get more warm people that you can speak with. I absolutely promise you it can work. If this is your first time listening to our podcast, go subscribe, and I'll make sure to notify you every time we drop a new piece of content. Today is one of those. It's Monday morning, and you're getting ready to get out and to go do your thing. And I want you to be very successful in your efforts. This strategy is to not let anything go to waste. Now, at the end, I'm going to give you an ask, and I want you to accept it. But before we get there, let's dive in. Let me give you the scenario. Our coaching client. This is a coaching client that I've had for a number of years, amazing individual, and he's diligent to take the things that I teach him. Now, his pipeline is not as strong as it should be right now, but he figured he needed, in our coaching session, we need to ramp that up. So he started doing more outreach. LinkedIn is a major game for him, and it's just like it should be for you. Now, I say that again because I do want to preface, they do sponsor our podcast, but if this was way before LinkedIn sponsored our podcast, I was using that sucker to make some money. And I'll still tell you to make money off LinkedIn. It works. And especially now that it's harder to send great emails and also to get phone answered, this is a great avenue to start on LinkedIn. So let me give you the scenario what he did. So we had, his pipeline was low. He was reaching out to people on LinkedIn. And this is one of the scenarios that I've talked about in a previous episode. He engaged. There was a conference that was coming up. Let's start there. There's a conference that's coming up in their niche. And this in our LinkedIn prospecting course, I teach this idea. You go to that conference, you see who's engaging on the post. And then once you start seeing those people who are engaging on the post, you start engaging with them. So the conference may post something like, we're excited for a kickoff in 2 weeks. Well, who's liking that post and who's engaging? More than likely, those people are going to go to the conference. So he reached out to those individuals and he commented, the ones who commented, he commented on their post, or he sent them a connection request, and he said, commented on their comment or engaged with their comments. But he reached out and sent the connection request. Hey, saw you engage with AAQR conference. Are you headed there in 2 weeks as well? But this as well make it feel like they're going to be there. And he's literally going to the conference. So people started to connect with him or started to accept this connection request. And then he started a dialogue. The dialogue consisted, it wasn't a pitch yet. The dialogue consisted of just, he sends a video. And it's something that I'm a big believer on LinkedIn. You send a video to do a quick introduction, or you can do a voice message. But this makes sure it shows you're not a robot, but it's no pitching at this point. But all he did was send something to the nature of, hey, it's Jay, I wanted to put a face with a name, let you know I'm not a robot, blah, blah, blah. And that started a dialogue. Person was like, give a thumbs up, or they commented or whatnot. But that got the engagement. And the philosophy that I teach with our LinkedIn prospecting course is, one, you got to break through the noise. So find a way to break through the noise, and you got to find people that are in. That's one easy way to find people who are interacting. So this conference idea, this play works great. Then he engaged with those people, and he started to get engagement back. So, and then he sent a connection request, which was great. That led to conversation. Conversations lead to appointments and opportunities, right? So he pitched this guy, found out this guy actually used his software at one point, and they engaged and so forth. So then he decided at that point, and this comes off of the strategy that we have with our program. One is to break through the noise. And that comes from finding people who are already engaging on a platform. Two, you got to grab their attention. And that's what he did when he interacted on their comments. And then he sent the connection request. This then got engagement. A person accepted the connection request back, and they started a conversation when he started to engage with them in DM. And then he did a couple of days later, did the ask. Found out this guy actually used his software before at a previous company, but at his current company, they don't have anyone. They don't have a need or don't have an interest right now. So it was like, okay, Donald, well, this is dead. And I'm like, no, this is not dead. This is an amazing thing. This guy, he's an advocate for you. He loves what you already have. So how can we capitalize on it? Now, I grew up in Jamaica, and in Jamaica as a kid, I'm telling in Jamaica, when they kill an animal, or for vegans out there, please forgive me, mute this part. But if they prepare an animal like a goat or a pig or chicken, every piece of that animal pretty much is going to get eaten. They have recipes for all kinds of stuff. So I told Jay with the same idea, don't let anything goes to waste. So many of us, we take the no and we throw it out the door. But many of these no's can still be repurposed. So again, this guy was an advocate for him. He used the software at a previous company, but right now he's not going to this event and he's not necessarily interested in that solution. Man, this guy came back to him after Jay asked him this question. I said, go back and ask him, who else does he know? Can he introduce you to? The guy came back and says, hey, let's set up a time. I got 5 people for you. 5 people. 5 people off of a no. And it's just a simple thing that you can do. Now, I'm not saying it's always going to happen in your scenario, but this is a concept that I feel that many of us, we're wasting stuff. If you get a no from or somebody that's not interested, got to understand these people live in their private, in their networks, right? If I'm an IT guy, I have my IT network. Say I'm a CMO, I'm already in groups with other CMOs. If I'm a sales guy, I probably listen to this podcast and also in chats or communities or Slack channel, Discords with other sales leaders. This, or maybe you're doing Pavilion, but the thing is, this is a great opportunity. And so many of us, we just don't have maybe we don't have the gumption to ask, or we feel that person is going to reject us because they're going to give us a no. If you got a no, what's the worst that's going to happen? Just hit that back up again. Say, and it's easy. You can steal this line and use it. Say, hey, no worries. I appreciate that. Not say do you, say who else, because then they start to think specifically. Who else do you know that could benefit from this solution in the industry? I know you probably have a network of network of other IT directors, or you probably come in contact with more CMOs or whatnot. But who else do you know? Who else do you know in your industry or in your community that could benefit from this solution? Especially if they're advocate in this case. I did this with a cold prospect, and I spoke about this on past episode. A prospect that I never met. I spoke to this guy on the phone, cold prospect, and I'm like, I ain't losing this thing. I was like Denzel. I'm like, I'm from around the way. I ain't leaving here with I'm leaving here with something. So I asked the guy on the phone, it's like, who else could you introduce me to? And you'll be amazed when I ask this, when I do cold outreach, how often people will tell me, yeah, I will connect with this person or talk to this individual. The thing is, these people have 10,000 things on their mind. Your success isn't something on their mind, but when you ask, you shall receive. Now, I would say probably you're going to get maybe 4 out of 10 times. That's not bad. That somebody's going to help you out or toss you a bone. It says, yeah, connect with this person, or let me think about it. But the ones that people will tell you, yeah, let me connect you with this individual. They'll probably remember a conversation that that they had with someone, or overheard somebody say something at a different event or in one of the group chats. But that happens all the time. But you just got to ask. Now, he's set up with 5 new prospects that he can do some business with. In a time where it's so difficult to grab prospect's attention and to get them, when you have them, you maximize every moment. When you are talking to someone, you do not let it go to waste. Pretend this is a chicken. You're going to have chicken head soup. You're going to have some chicken feet. You're going to have some chicken breasts. You're going to have everything in that chicken, right? So remember when you're thinking about those prospects, think about it in this sense. I'm not saying you're going to eat and become cannibalists for your prospect, but the principle is don't let anything go to waste. You got to use it all. If you want to live a nicer scenario, you got some leftovers in the fridge, some nice quinoa soup or whatever. I can't have a quinoa soup. A squash soup for I love a good squash soup. Don't let it go to waste. Reuse it, warm it up, put some flavoring on that, and you're good to go. There you go. So I connected to our vegan and our non-vegan friends. Listen, I have fun here, but I just want to tell you the truth. I need you guys to take advantage of every opportunity you have. Don't let anything go to waste. I want you to thrive. I want you to succeed. I want you to gain more prospect. I want you to close more deals. And on this Monday morning, as you get ready to prospect, I want you to remember this. I want you to think about this. Every time you have a new opportunity, every time you're speaking to someone, it's a new opportunity, whether on the phone or email or LinkedIn. It works. This case was on LinkedIn. It worked for me on the phone, and you could do the same thing on email. The worst they can do is not reply. I want you to thrive. I want you to succeed. And listen, we have a sales mastermind. We have a new one starting up, and I want you to join. Imagine if you could come to a mastermind every single week where me, or one of our facilitators lead a session with a small group of you, 12 of you. We set a goal at the beginning of the quarter. You go into Q2 with a goal set, and we help you to break down that goal into micro goals, little snippets that you can tackle and you can hit up every single day. You can hit every single week. You come back to that group chat, that group meeting on Fridays or Thursdays when we meet, and you come back to the table and you say, hey, this is where I'm at with my goal. You get fired up hearing the success of others, and you are coming accountable, because nobody wants to come to that next meeting shorthanded saying they didn't do what they said they were going to. I'm telling you, it's a game changer. Everyone that participated in our mastermind, they hit quota. I'm not being ridiculous on that. If you come into the mastermind, you follow the plan, you do what we tell you, you hit quota. It works time and time again. I would love for you to check it out and to join us. You can find more information by going to thesalesevangelist.com/mastermind. Again, thesalesevangelist.com/mastermind. I want you to succeed. I want you to thrive. I want you to win just like this client. But most importantly, I want you to raise your level of thinking, go out and do big things. See you on the next one. And join the mastermind.